The Tale of Beatrix Potter, adopted by Sarah Schoenfeld. The year was 1983. A young woman was traveling by train. She had the cover basket. Inside that basket was a rabbit called Peter. Peter Piper, the rabbit, went everywhere with her. She even walked him on a leash. No one could have guessed that Peter was going to be a very famous rabbit one day. His owner was going to be famous too. Her name was Beatrix Potter. Beatrix Potter was born in London. Beatrix Potter was born in London in 1866. Her parents were rich. They had a big house and servants. Beatrix spent a lot of time at home with her nanny. She did not meet many other children. When Beatrix was 6 years old, her brother Bertram was born. Finally, she had someone to play with. Beatrix and her brother loved animals. The family had a dog named Spot, but that wasn't enough for the children. They sneaked all kinds of animals into their room. When the family took vacations, Beatrix and Bertram would bring back new pets. There were rabbits, some mice, lizards, rats, birds, and frogs. Once they even got a snake, then it escaped. Beatrix, parents sent her brother away to school when he was 11. They had a teacher come to the house to teach Beatrix. Not going to school meant it was hard for Beatrix to meet other kids her age. She was sad and lonely, so the animals became her friends. She loved drawing and painting them. Every day, Beatrix couldn't wait for her lessons to end so she could go back to her art. When Beatrix was 19 years old, she finished her lessons at home. Now she had more time to draw and paint. Everyone liked her art. Her uncle said she should try selling it. Beatrix liked that idea. Soon Beatrix sold her art. She drew 6 Christmas cards of the rabbit family. Beatrix was excited to sell her art, but she wanted to sell stories too. But a few years later, Beatrix had the chance to share her writing. She wrote a story in her letter. She even drew pictures to go along with the story. The rabbit in the story was named Peter, just like her pet. After reading the letter, Beatrix, the old teacher, told her that she should try writing a children's book. The letter about 4 little rabbits become a longer story. This was the tale of Peter Rabbit. Beatrix sent it to 6 publishers, but no one wanted to turn her story about Peter Rabbit into a real book. Beatrix did not give up. She decided to pay a printer to make the books. And 250 copies of her book were printed. They sold out. She had to make more. Then the publishing company agreed to publish the book. They made 8,000 copies and they sold out. The other publishers wanted more books. So Beatrix wrote more stories about other animals. Finally, she was the published offer. What, Mom? Beatrix was very happy. Okay, I'll end this here, guys, and I'll come back to it. She was also happy because a young man named Norman Warren asked her to marry him. Norman was the editor of Beatrix and books. Beatrix wanted to marry Norman. Her parents didn't like the idea, but Beatrix was almost 40 years old. She decided she was old enough to make her own decisions. She also had enough money to buy her own house. She bought a farm in England in a beautiful place called the Lake District. Unfortunately, Beatrix's happiness did not last. Norman got sick and died. Beatrix was very sad. Beatrix never forgot Norman, but her new house, friends, and work helped her to feel happy again. Her characters were becoming very popular. Soon there were Peter Rabbit dolls, Peter Rabbit wallpapers, and Peter Rabbit board games. While she was writing, Beatrix always thought about her young readers. Then when she wrote the tale of Timmy Tiptoes, she added a gray squirrel and a bear for her American readers. Beatrix also drew pictures of houses and shops from her new neighborhood in her books. In fact, she loved the Lake District so much that she wanted to help protect it. Lots of people were knocking down old farms. They were building on farmland. Beatrix wanted to make sure the Lake District stayed the way it was. She liked the farm and the plants and the other animals. Beatrix bought more land there. This way she could make sure the land wouldn't be destroyed or changed. As time passed, Beatrix realized that her parents were getting older. Beatrix worried about them, and they worried about her. In 1912, a man named William Beatrix asked Beatrix to marry him. Her parents didn't like him. Once again, Beatrix knew that she could decide for herself, but she wanted her parents to be happy too. Beatrix's brother Bertram decided it was time to tell his parents the secret. He had been married for 11 years and had never told them. Maybe this made Beatrix plan to marry William less surprising. Her parents said it was okay for them to marry. Beatrix and William were married in October 1913. Both Beatrix and her husband were very happy in the countryside. Beatrix became a real country woman. She farmed. She won prizes for her sheep. Beatrix had always loved animals and children. She wanted to help them, so she drew greeting cards to help raise money for sick kids, and she kept buying more land to protect in the Lake District. But as she got older, Beatrix found that she couldn't go outside very much. Luckily, she could remember the flowers and the animals she saw outside. After she got sick in 1943, Beatrix died. She was 77. She left them 15 farms to the National Trust. They will protect the land. They make sure no one can knock down the farmhouses or build new ones. They also keep the plants and the animals safe. Beatrix, some stories are still being published all over the world. New children enjoy the books every year. We are lucky that Beatrix wrote about that rabbit named Peter, so we can still read about him today. The end.